Hi, LC Clemens here. No, wait, we're on week 9 and day 1. A little bit of changes to my formula today. I'm actually watching one of my favorite streamers on Twitch, which is Tipster. It's pretty good. I mean, yeah, he's a little more literal than, like, if you're not into like a lot of the cursing and stuff, then don't watch him. But I like him. He's funny. But off stream and stuff. I'm probably going to talk about that later, possibly, because there's some crap going on about a certain streamer about how she's basically like, if you don't want to give me money, you don't need to watch my stream. But that's a whole pet peeve because I'm like, to be honest, let me just say this real quick. If you don't, to me, it's almost like us as author tubers who's like saying, if you don't want to watch our stuff, don't watch my stuff if you're not going to get paid. That's not how people work. And to be frank, it's a little irritating because I work a 40-hour day job, and I know for a fact, even though I have donations down here saying, donations are welcome, I'm not going to expect everybody to just give money. That's your right and your choice. I know I pay bills every day, and I don't want to just give money freely to anybody. So it was a bit of a slap in the face, especially to people who stream just because they enjoy it. Like, I enjoy it. I mean, if you give money, cool. If you don't give money, cool, because you're here just to connect with other writers. That's not my platform. That's not what I'm gonna do. I have a podcast that's monetized, don't get me wrong, but that's more for ads than anything else. But I'm not expecting to make a whole bunch of money off of that. But off that subject, started working on my draft while I was at work. I got this, and I think my paper holder is somewhere in here. I think I know where it is, but I'm afraid I might have broke the pieces off in the middle of moving. Oh wait, I found it. Hold on. Give me a second. Let me just, I'll just edit this part out. Okay, so I have it right here. The pieces came off, I think, to fit in a box. Let me see if I can. Let me see. I'm trying to get this to work. Oh, got it in there. So all you do is take this thing and you snip it to this part here. And you snip it to the side, but it doesn't mess up your screen. And I can even get these little pieces here to have the paperwork. I don't know why it goes up like this. Kind of looks like a radio receiver, but anyway, just gonna move this over here so I can have more room. I'm moving my Blue Yeti microphone over here, so I'm gonna clip this here. I'm gonna start on this, and we'll see what the payment count is. You don't need to see my messy bed. It's not really messy. I just have like a clothes on there because when my husband comes in because this is our bedroom, so my husband has a tendency to take the clothes, like, and just toss them on the bed when he's looking for something, or doing something. I don't know what he's doing today, but the bed's kind of a mess, and I don't want to show all that. But got my okay, webtoon. I'm trying to get a rose bush. I'm trying to get this rose bush. Got my little app here. See, you can use these seeds that you get, and let's see if I can get the store open. Okay, got the store. See, you have to have the minimum requirement just to get these. They have these flower trees. They got tree house. They got nests. They got an octopus tree, which I think is I kind of like the cherry blossom one. That's 500, and then they have the rose. I like the sunflower. They have these. You see me just scrolling through them. They have so many. I need to have like 1,000 or like 1,500 seeds before I can even get this. So it gets. I mean, I can buy it, but I don't want to buy it. It's kind of like that whole cash grab thing that comes to mind. And I just completely, just talked about how. Never mind. I'm just gonna get started. Let me just 60 minutes. Let's get started. Okay, so I was wondering if watching YouTube videos would make my work distracting. It's not 100% because I'm like half listening. I'm more thinking than get this camera, just thinking than listening. Um, so Tipster's video ended early, and now I gotta figure out what am I gonna watch. If there's a video called, let me put my Doctor Who mug down because if I, how much money this freaking no. First of all, I'm not promoting the show. I love Doctor Who, and you probably can't see my TARDIS because I have cold liquid in it. I'm trying to finish up. I have cold liquid, not hot liquid, so you can't really see my TARDIS. But when it's, you can see my Gallifreyan symbols, but you can't see my TARDIS. Once hot liquids get in here, it turns up. So yes, I'm a Doctor Whovian. Anyway, let me put this over here so I won't drop it. I think it's important if you're writing, even though mine is going to be a futuristic shifter paranormal romance, to watch history because sometimes parts of history, the way I'm doing my story is there's going to be a point in history which devolves from the main storyline, sort of like what Fallout did. I don't know if anybody's played the. I'm sitting in a kitchen chair. This actually hurts my butt after a while. If I feel like this camera is not my shiny head and the camera's not working right. But anyway, in Fallout, there is a divergence in the storyline, which actually changes. Alternate History Hub actually does a really good video for that. There's other people that do it, but basically the whole main storyline is here's World War II, and then it splits off. It splits off at a storyline. I'm doing my little crocodile hand like I'm a teacher. It splits off because the Tesla coil is, the computer chip is not as promoted as, let's say, nuclear fission is. So that's the story changes, and then you get the story of Fallout, which begins in 2077. So that's kind of why I'm listening to history videos, because I have an idea how I want my futuristic story, because I am still working on my story bio. I want to have a point where the story kind of branches off, and I don't want to go so far in the past that people don't notice, but I don't want to go so far forward in modern day. So I'm still working on it, and I feel like I'm rambling a bit, but I feel like I want to talk about it a little bit. That splitting, if you're using a futuristic storyline, I feel like you should find out where you're splitting your timeline is going to be, so you can't. I'm just going to put this over here because it's driving me crazy. My little Doctor Who mug. You need to find a place where you want to split from the timeline if you're going to be doing a futuristic story, because you want to make sure your story makes sense. And I think this came from a creative writing teacher I had back in high school. She ripped my stories apart with a big red pen. And they were mostly futuristic stories, but she's like, your story has to make sense. If you're going to do futuristic, some point in history still has to be existing in order for everything else in the timeline to make sense. So, yeah, I think it's great to watch history. I watch Alternate History Hub. I watch History Teacher Reacts, Mr. Terry. I should put a link down in the description, but literally, if you search Alternate History Hub, you will find so many video reactions, like what if the Great Lakes never existed, what if the Civil War was won by the South. It's all these great stories that he tells, and he has so much creativity. It's amazing. Mr. Terry Reacts is also somebody I watch because he's reacting to other history videos, but he supplements those regular storylines, and that's actually really good too. You need to supplement the storylines, so you get more information. But enough of me rambling. Let me just get back to writing. Okay, so it is 9:55 p.m. Had a little bit of a goof up for a second there because my Blue Yeti microphones. Yep, 9:55. Um, my Blue Yeti microphones, for some reason, will stay in. I'll say in a minute. So my seeds 21. See if we can get my app to work here. Okay, so got my story up. Switch this over here. No, I don't want to edit the storyline. Let me see if I can get this in focus. So I have 1,091 words for today. So I have 1,091 words for today. Not too surprising considering I used a Word document. I was kind of working on it at work because we had a slow phone call volume today. Can't guarantee that I can do that for myself every day because it's peak season, but I'm actually really surprised I only got slow phone calls. So I'm just going to save this. If you're clicking around, I'm saving the file to my Dropbox system. I also keep a copy on my Google Docs. I keep a copy on my hard drive just in case. I feel like you sometimes should save 3 times just in case. You never know when a system's going to fail. Like, what if my Dropbox completely goes kaput and I have no choice but and my save kind of went on me. At least I'll have 2 different backups, and if Google don't work, then I have one backup, which is always going to be the hard drive, which hard drives, unless your USB cord doesn't always work, the external hard drive will work. Like I was trying to say earlier, I kind of have a bit of a recording goof up because some reason my Blue Yeti cord, it's not so much a Blue Yeti cord, but my Blue Yeti mute button, ever since I bought this stupid thing, and I bought this brand new, it will flash like the mute button, and then I'll try to have to click it. I'll try to click on mute, and it will never work, and I have to unplug it and plug it back in. I've been meaning to get on blue about this, but it's, money. I mean, I have a Blue Yeti Nano. Push come to shove, I'll just use that one. But that's gonna end this video. Gonna get started. I'll talk to you guys again tomorrow. Hi, Elsie Clements. Day 2. Today would have been day 3, but last night I caught this really bad case, the stomach flu. I'm still recovering, so I got a bowl of chicken noodle soup that you probably see me munching on while typing. When I say, I don't know if anyone's ever really caught the stomach flu, which is pretty much, it's not the flu. We just call it the stomach flu because you can get a fever, you can get aches. I'm still achy. My breathing's not 100%, but, I chose to do recording because this is, the first day is the worst. The second day, you kind of get used to it. The third day, you'll probably be about 75%, because I'm at 50% right now. I would say you'd be 75, 80%, and after the third, fourth day, you should be good. So it kind of set me back, but I still had my plot in mind, which is really good. I slept so much, I had no time to work. But today, I was able to at least do most of this page. All my pages, when I do them, just in the same from far away, they're all double spaced, because let's say I make an error and I just happen to notice before I start typing or while I'm at work, I can just go to that particular area and scratch it off. I'm still going to do By the time you probably see this, I'll probably have done my NaNoWriMo because Kate Kavanaugh and a couple of other writers are doing their thing on NaNoWriMo and they're talking about their author goals. So I'm probably going to do a video on not so much an author goal. I mean, my whole goal is to get this draft done by the end of the year. And I'm hoping to God I do because I'm starting to get into this. But with that being said, let's get started. So, thinking on the NaNoWriMo thing a bit, I may still do it. I'm just on the fence because I am focused on my first draft. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to still dedicate at least the minimum requirement and try to work on even harder at work. And then what I'm going to do is try to maybe do the NaNoWriMo. No, I think I'm gonna do the vlog thing at home and then do the NaNoWriMo thing at work. And I think the reason why, and I know I'm pausing, and it's because I'm trying to get. What happens is when you play too many things at once on my particular Mac, and it's from like 2015, it's still doing the spinny thing, which means it's probably time for me to get a new one. Um, but it's like with NaNoWriMo, it's kind of hard for me because I'm getting so in the flow that I'm afraid I'm gonna mess it up. But I will consider doing it. And again, I'm gonna do a video about NaNoWriMo, about my feelings on it, and I'll divulge more on it. But let me get back to my writing. Okay, so I have my app up. It is later than normal because I got home later, so it's 10:24 on September 18th, and I have, come on, 1,059 words. So got 20. I don't know if anybody can see. Okay, it should have showed up. 21 seeds, which goes to getting more bushes because I want to grow more stuff on my app. But 1,059 words is a big accomplishment. I think it's helping that I'm relaxing more because my day is on a routine. I just want to talk a little bit. Excuse me. My mornings are more on a routine because I take public transportation, which means I got to get up like almost an hour and a half early, make my breakfast, make my lunch, get on the bus, get to work, but then be work a little bit early, but not enough to really work on my book. Then check all my emails for work and all this other stuff. And now I have a car, so I should be able to get to work on a better time and be able to work more in the morning. I was watching Kate Kavanaugh's videos about writing goals, and like I've said before, my writing goal is really to get through this first freaking draft and be done by the end of the year. And I just want to talk about that a little bit. Now, I don't know if any of you know this, but I love video games and anime and manga. And this is the most insane thing. Let me just get it real quick. I was gifted this Nintendo Switch in June. I moved in July. I'm finally settling down in August. It is now September and I'm back in my writing line. I have not really played this thing as much as I used to. I got Borderlands 3. I only did play 3 hours worth of that game. I'm still finishing up Zelda, playing Let's Go Pikachu. I still want to play Deltarune Chapter 1. Still trying to play Final Fantasy eventually. So I have a list of stuff. I actually want to go on vacation for my writing. Just a teensy bit. Even though I'm not a, did this thing come off? Yeah, no one knows this, but this is a refurbished one I got for cheap. I'm not going to get the Nintendo Switch Lite in case anyone puts it down in the comments, but these things come off so easily. I'm gonna get a protector or something for this. I already have a protector and a screen protector, but anyway, I'm getting off writing topic. I kind of want to go on a mental vacation and at least walk away from this draft because, like No Gaming says, your first draft's gonna suck. And I'm thinking to walk away and go on a slight vacation and then come back to it. I know it sounds weird. I know it sounds lazy, but I want to look at it with the fresh eyes before I rewrite it. I also need to figure out what I'm going to do for NaNoWriMo. I'm still on the fence on NaNoWriMo. Like I said, I'm going to write. I already did a podcast. I think one of my old podcast episodes I already talked about it. But I'm thinking I'm going to talk about it again for this year. I'm also going to do a podcast episode as well as do a vlog on it, and we'll see how that goes. So that's the end of day 2. I will see you guys again tomorrow. Hi, Elsie Clements here. Day 2. Got her a little later than normal. I finally I'm driving my husband's other car, and to make a long story short, I had to go get gas, and gas getting expensive these days. But anyway, been watching some videos. Right now, I'm watching a video on Catherine the Great. I wanted to see how this woman made a great empire. Just a little curious about things because I think I have an idea if I do NaNoWriMo how I'm going to do this story. I just want to look up some great queens, maybe get some inspiration, that all that jazz, and hopefully, we'll see how the week goes. I don't have much to say today. Besides the fact that everybody's in NaNoWriMo fever, and I keep talking about NaNoWriMo, and you're probably wondering, when am I going to really talk about NaNoWriMo? Well, by the time you get this video, I'll probably already have been releasing it, so sorry for bringing it up again. I'm going to do a podcast episode on it, and I'm going to also do a video on it that you'll see if you're subscribed to my channel and notifications. So I'm just going to get where's my focus timer? Here we go. My forest timer. One of these days I'm thinking about getting the app where you don't poke the bear. If you use the bear attacks you, but we'll see. So 60 minutes. I noticed I'm getting some more seeds. Once I get enough seeds, I'm so going to get those plants I wanted. But 60 minutes, and let's get started. So, after watching my videos on Catherine the Great, I kind of switched gears, and I don't know if anybody knows this. There's this movie called The Stepford Rise that was made with Matthew Broderick. It was a flop, to make a long story short. But I'm watching the original, which is based on a book, which I didn't even know that Stepford Rise was a book. It was created by a man named Ear 11, and that may be a book I want to read at some point. But this book, or this story, is a little more serious than the comedy-based Stepford Rise. In this version, it's not even like the marriage is falling apart. It's just that they moved to a new town. And actually, you know what? There may be hints that the marriage is falling apart, but it's not to the point where the wife is this big CEO executive who just pushes her husband out, and it's like feminism reigns supreme, and the husband feels excuse me, that he's been pushed aside. No, it's just you go to this town and you become this subservient wife, a 1950s wife, a wife, because this takes place in the 70s or 60s or 70s. And, after World War II, which took place in the 50s, women weren't going back to the kitchen anymore. It came to the point where both men and women, and married couples were working. So it's a possibility that maybe I'm just, speculating as I'm watching this movie. Maybe there's a chance that maybe it's like a callback to history. There are people that talk about, men and women's roles in marriage, and a lot of men will say that the problem with the marriages is feminism and the fact that women are not back in the same roles, because women and men are somewhat playing the same roles. But there are roles that men play and there's roles that women play. My husband does something different than, has a different factor in our marriage than I do. You know, we're still two different people, but we still work. So, Stepford Wives seems like a really interesting psychological take on, maybe it's not meant to be a like I said, I don't think it was meant to be a comedy, it was meant to be a horror. And it's kind of a different story because when you think about it, let's say you did turn back the clock to the 50s. I mean, would you really be happier? Because think about it, all these women are subservient to their husbands. They're robots. They've been turned into gynoids, but the question I don't think they ever ask, are these men happier with their wives the way they are? Or are they just trying to live a simpler lifestyle? Maybe they're stressed with everyday lives and work, but I mean, why would you want a woman to be subservient? Why would you want this for yourself? I know there's a control factor, probably there's a control factor in the story, but it's almost like a weird callback to history, the way the life was, because the one ever arching theme in all stories is people change. And yeah, times have changed. Women and men both have to work. It is required almost for most households to be a two income household. There are not that many households where the wife can just stay home and be a stay home mother and the husband can go off to work every day. It just doesn't work like that anymore. So I think I'm going to put the Stepford Wives on my list of books to read. Maybe not this year, but maybe I'll read it next year for my BookTube Halloween list. So let me get back to writing. Okay. So it is. Come on, computer. Just give it time. And less blurriness. Zoom in, zoom out. Come on, adjust itself. I'll wait for this thing to adjust, right, so I can. Come on. You know what? Something tells me it's not going to happen tonight. I don't know what's going on with its internal focusing system. I don't know if it's focusing. But, do this. Okay, there we go. It's 10:04. I'm wobbling this a bit. It is 10:04 p.m. No, now 10:05 to outfocus itself. And I have, you can't see it, but, oh wait, if I do this, there it goes. 1,058 words. Okay, so let me go ahead and save this file. So that 1,058 words, it's a lot more words than I was expecting, because I felt like my brain went blank for a second while I was listening to Stepford Wives, and then it started up again. This movie is freaking creepy. Like, we've just been introduced to the antagonist, this guy. His name is Diz. First I thought it was like Diz. This is like Diz from Kingdom Hearts, but then I remember that this movie came out in like 75, so it was way before Kingdom Hearts was even thought of, or Square Enix, video games really in general, besides the one. Anyway, this guy is freaking creepy. He's like, I love watching a woman when she serves and all that stuff. I'm sitting there going, okay, you sick SOB. Okay, creepo. I mean, yeah, the main female, Joanna, she is serving the group for her husband's club that she really still feels uncomfortable with. But the fact of the matter is, this guy's like, oh, I like watching women serve. And this guy's like taking her character and stuff as she's talking. Mind you, she's in a room full of men. And I'm like, wait a minute, you're in a room full of men. I know it's your house, but you're in a room full of men. And some of the stuff they're talking about, I'm kind of going, what? But I understand it's the 70s, so I'm guessing dialect and stuff was different back then. But this movie is creepy. If you have never seen this movie, this is not even a gory type of movie. This is a psychological horror movie. And it's one of those Western ones that I've never seen anybody really say they watched this before. Like the original Stepford Wives. Everybody talks about the one that was back in like 2005, but this one's like completely different atmosphere. You already meet the main character. The Bobby was played by Bette Midler, and this one is played by a different woman. She has this spiritualness to her. She has this funness, like a modern day woman. But then you got Joanna, who's really unhappy being there, and she really doesn't want to be there. And then you got the husband acting freaky because he's going, I love you, honey. I love you. And And then he gets like all weepy. You're like, what the? You're like, what's going on? But I enjoy it, so I'm gonna wrap it up and finish watching this movie, and I'll talk to you guys again tomorrow. Okay, day 4, end of the week, end of the line. Um, so we're gonna get started real quickly. I got home a little later than normal, and also because DoorDash had a promotion, I'm trying this Impossible Whopper, and I put cheese on top because I don't eat burgers without cheese. I think it's gross. Anyway, I'm gonna try the Impossible Whopper, and then I'm gonna try a bite of the regular Whopper. And once, maybe midway through this segment, I will tell you what I think about them. So if you see some wrappers over here, it's me trying to eat those burgers. Now my husband thinks they're crap. Well, first of all, he hates Burger King. Most of the time, I don't eat Burger King either. I like their fries, but like people say, it depends on what part of the country you're around, because, or the state, because the Burger King in the suburbs tastes completely different than the Burger King in the city. I'm telling you, it's almost like having a KFC in the city versus having a KFC in the suburbs. They're two different tastes. They're two different like freshnesses. So I got this from DoorDash for a promotion. I'm gonna try the Impossible Burger versus the Whopper. But in besides that, I want to say thank you for all the subscribers I've been getting. I've been getting them. They've been coming up like wildfire, and I think it's because of the welcome YouTube video. So I'm gonna one day sit down with a list of people that have subscribed to my channel and say thank you to everybody, because everybody deserves to be recognized. Same if I was doing my podcast and someone starts, oh, I knocked that. Okay, there it is. If they were subscribed to my podcast, I would say thank you too. So for everybody who's been subscribing to my channel, thanks to my welcome authortube video, thank you so much. It really helps my encouragement. So I'm gonna get started. I got my, oh, that's my calendar app. That's not my, got started. 60 minutes. Yeah, it dimmed me out. 60 minutes. Let's get started. The Impossible Whopper actually doesn't taste too bad, but it's not as good as the Whopper. I wish I should have sold some green top before I start scarfing it down, but my ass has been acting up all day. The meat of the Impossible Whopper, which by the way, it's a vegetarian meal, so it was thin, and what they did was take beef flavoring and I think put it in there to simulate the taste of meat. My father actually does this because he's he's in the pescatarian, and thanks to his heart attack, and he eats vegetarian meals, and I've had his vegetarian meals for like a simulated steak flavor or a simulated seafood flavor. My dad claims he's a vegetarian, but he's really a pescatarian. But anyway, and it tastes fine, but I saw the Whopper sitting over here. It's a thicker piece of meat, and you can taste the meat, and you bite into it. So, yeah, the Impossible Burger, I understand what they were trying to do to make them taste the same, but I can taste a distinct difference between the Impossible Whopper and the regular Whopper. The Impossible Whopper has that beef flavoring, but you can tell by the thickness of the meat, but it's not real meat. But, yeah, I'm supposed to be talking about writing. So, I am researching everything I can about preparing NaNoWriMo, even though it is September 20th. I'm trying to prepare because I am leaning towards doing NaNoWriMo, but if I do this, that means I have to massively write more for my first draft to at least get through the first arc I'm thinking about doing, which is the characters getting this person cured, falling in love, which is the romance subplot that it's going to be in this story. And then I can leave it alone at least for 30 days so I can focus on the NaNoWriMo story. So that's where I'm kind of at. And I'm watching these videos and I'm watching these people prepare. They got notebooks and they got the Scrivener app and they got these books they use for guides. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not even sure if I'm going to be using 100% guides for this because I'm a pantser more than a plotter. I could be a plotster when need be, depending on the work I'm doing. Like if I'm doing poetry, like some people ask me to do poetry for, let's say, um, funerals, like for eulogies for my family or for close friends, I will do it for them. Um, and I'm the type of person who can do it the very last second. The poetry just comes out, and I can just give it to them, and now says, "Oh my God, it's great." That's when my thing works. I mean, maybe I will be a plotster for NaNoWriMo because this is me just for 30 days and hope to God I make it to 50,000 words. So if I'm going to plot this and plan this, I'm probably going to have to be a plotster instead of a pantser, which is going to drive me insane because I know how my brain works. But I I'm leaning toward participation. I just have to prepare. I know for a fact that I do have Scrivener. I did try to update it, but I forgot there's like a Scrivener 4. It's been that many years since I've done a Scrivener, so I would have to pay like $45 just for the Scrivener app, not like the new Scrivener app, not the bootleg that I'm sure people will probably somewhere will tell me, oh, do the bootleg app. It will work just as fine, but no, you can't. I mean, I won't say I tried it, but I know people who have tried it, like when I was in college, like to get fake keys for the Sims games and stuff. So it doesn't always work. But I do have a Storyist app, and I do have this thing called Story Planner, which is a app. I forgot which podcast I was to. I think it was the Story Studio podcast that was talking about this thing called, or it was it might have been a different writer, but it's called Story Planner, and it's done through Apple. It's not an Apple. It's not done through Apple the company, but it's promote really for iOS, and a good probably more than 60% of us are Apple users, so it kind of works. And what they do is you do the plot there, and let's say you're like me and you take your iPad out and use your iPad to work while you're outside the house, so you don't get your laptop stolen. The Story Planner app also does it on iOS, which is your iPhone and your tablet. Well, your iPad. So when you do the story, I'm gonna get back to writing in a minute. When you do the Story Planner app, it saves all of your planning work and then takes it and saves up in the cloud system, which I rarely ever use the cloud, so I'm actually surprised because I usually use Dropbox and Google Docs, but it's refreshing, like I said. And I could just open up my iPad over here and just start typing away. So I'm doing some research, and I'm gonna, like I said, I've already said this 1,000 times. I'm gonna talk about the NaNoWriMo thing. I'm also gonna be, it's gonna be posting on my vlog page on my channel as well as on my podcast. I'm gonna record both at the same time. I'm rambling along because NaNoWriMo is a big deal for writers, and I'm gonna talk about it. So I keep saying that. All right, I'm just gonna get back to the writing because I'm talking too much. Okay, and I got 21 seeds, so my tree has grown. Just gonna press OK, and I'm now to 471 seeds. Gonna get that rose bush eventually. So the time is now 10:20 p.m. Please go and focus. Thank you. And I have 1,118 words. So I have 1,118 words. So I am on a productivity roll more than I thought I was. And I think it's because I know in the back of my head I want to get this particular scene done before I prepare for NaNoWriMo, which everybody's been talking about. I'm looking at plenty of videos except for Kristen Martin's video. I was going to look at that, and then I remember that whole controversy. I mean, I may still look at it, but I'm going to look at it objectively rather than, take her advice, because I already kind of know about that controversy, which that's kind of crazy, but, stuff happens. That's all I can say. I mean, yeah, it was a slap in the face for what happened, and I would never try to do what she did, because to me it came off kind of scummy. You know what? I'm just going to say this real quick. I'm not a professional writer. And yes, she's a quote-unquote professional writer because she's written some books. Not that I've seen that many great reviews on Goodreads. I mean, but I'm not going to throw a crap load of shade about this, but I'm not going to take her as 100% seriously. Yeah, she maybe, you know what? She has a fan base who likes her stuff. It's sort of like with Sarah J. Maas with her books. I couldn't, and you can see my video about that. I did not like Throne of Glass. Was it Throne? Yeah, it was Throne of Glass. I thought it was confusing mess, but this is her work. And it was her first book, so of course it might not be that good. I mean, she was world building, and there's a possibility the character development will get better. But her first book, I was like, and you know what? To be fair, I will try to look at Lexidon's, not Lex, Kristen Martin. I like Alexidon. Kristen Martin's thing on preparing for NaNoWriMo and see what happens. Now, I will say this, like I said earlier, about the whole notebook thing. I do have a notebook. In fact, keep a little spiral notebook. I had it taped with like plots, book ideas and plots right here, and it was taped on here. But it's a Sharpie on a smooth surface. For some reason, it doesn't stay. But I do write in this thing. Sometimes I write like lists of stuff I want to buy from the store, but see, I have the different, like, I was still, even before I was thinking about the word Bible, I was coming up with ideas of, you see, you have wolf shifters, you have half shifters. Like, I put their own biology. Half shifters is here. Their own biology of how they work, and it's not like elaborate. I mean, look at this. I still have like plenty of pages left, but I do have a notebook. But I can't, because I think what happened was, and this happened probably when I was a young teenager, when I started typing more, writing on in cursive, because you can see this is in print, but I write in cursive because, little backstory, I went to Catholic school, and back in Catholic school, you can't get past 6th grade without writing in cursive, which, don't need cursive as much these days, except to write your signature. But when I try to write in print or cursive these days, it kind of hurts my wrist. Now, I kind of have carpal tunnel because I crochet and knit, and then turn around and write this, notebook for a long period of time will tire me out. But I do see a lot of writers for NaNoWriMo and using their little notebooks. So I'm going to try to fill this, and I'm going to put a little sticky. What I do is I put, like, I have stickies, but they're at work, and I'm probably going to bring them home because I have to start bringing stuff home because we are shutting down the office. And I'll stick it in here and say NaNoWriMo, so I know this is only for the plot for NaNoWriMo. It has nothing to do with the other story I'm currently writing. So yeah, I'm going to start taking in, maybe take an inventory, see if there's anything I can really get that I really need for NaNoWriMo. Everybody's saying that this is a war, this is a battlefield. I kind of want to relax, and I'm feeling that I'm not going to relax for this, probably those full 30 days. I'll probably write a whole vlog. Like, usually I do the weekly vlogs for my first draft, but this one's probably going to be a whole different one. It's going to be weekly NaNoWriMo week 1, NaNoWriMo week 2. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, end of the week. I will talk to you guys again in week 10.